Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV. I watch the true crime, I watch the reality, I watch the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, receipts, proof, evidence, facts. I watch all of it. I watch all the Real Housewives, I watch all the Big Brothers, I watch the Sister Wives, I watch this Wives, I watch that Wives, I watch the true crime, I watch the true crime, I watch the Survivor, I watch the Amazing Race, I watch all the trending shows on Netflix, Apple, Paramount, Peacock, anywhere that you can find streaming shows, Shudder. I have all the streaming apps. So anyway, I watch all the TV shows. I'm willing to watch any TV show that you guys want me to do or want me to watch, and then I come over here and I react to it. So if you guys like to watch TV shows and you like to have conversations about TV shows, I think you have found the right place. And if you like to talk about Sister Wives, oh my God, you have shown up to the right place, because over here, we talk mad shit about the Sister Wives, okay? And I just started binge watching Sister Wives earlier this summer. I just last weekend finished all 18 seasons. I finally finished it at like Sunday going into Monday at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I finished those 2 weddings of Christine to her new husband. And then I watched season 1 or episode 1 of season 19. Whoo! Got through that. Put that video up. And in that video, I said that I had made notes, which I have right here. I actually deleted them. I had to go into my deleted notes and revamp them. So I have notes from season 15, season 16, season 17, and season 18. And I am going to go through my notes, note by note, proof, evidence, facts, receipts, or whatever Heather Gay says on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm going to go through it today. I'm going to let you know everything. Whoo! Ma'am, it is hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Cody Brown took off all his clothes. Please don't take off all your clothes, Cody Brown. Or Robin Brown, or any of you. Anyway, I don't want to see none of them people naked. I just don't, okay? I'm sure they're lovely people and they do it all the time, which is why they have 462 kids, but I don't need to see any of them naked, okay? I definitely don't need to see Cody Brown with his... People kept on saying... So, I used one of these blankets the other day in my video. I put it for my reenactment. Here, we'll do it again. This is a different blanket, but I used one of Boo Radley's blankets to be like Cody Brown. The pain! Wait, I have it written down right here. Where is it at? Hold on a second. I gotta have my notes. I have to have my script. Hold on, where is it at? The knife in the kidney after all these years. What does he say? Hold on a second. All the sacrifices I made to Christine, who's just sitting there with her legs crossed and she can care less. All the sacrifices I made to love you. And sobbing Robin's just bawling her eyes out. Her dream of grandkids on the front porch at Coyote Pass. Done. Wasted! And then he storms off. But let me just tell you, okay, I'm a little pissed because people are like, he done pulled that rug up off the floor. This is my dog, Boo Radley's, very famously blanket, okay? You don't see this on Sister Wives Closet, do you? Okay, but anyway. Oh my God, my tripod fell. Something that happens usually on my other channels. My tripod fell right as I was getting into all the Sister Wives stuff, as I was doing my costume change. Now I'm back to Peter again. Okay, I'm not Cody Brown. But if you want me to be a Cody Brown, I don't want to be Cody Brown. Oh, but this is what was so funny. So I used this blanket. It wasn't the purple one. It was the gray one that's out in the hall. But I used the blanket the other day, and people were saying it's a rug. And then people were like, you should just use two strings of ramen noodles, because that's what Cody Brown's hair looks like. You're right, it does. But anyway, I just have to tell you, I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun covering the Sister Wives stuff. But the last couple of seasons did really make me sad. In fact, I have to be honest with you. And I think I said this in my last video, you know, season 19 starts, and at the beginning of it, they put up a thing about Garrison Brown passing, you know, in the spring of 2024. And I know that they're going to cover it this season because I've read the articles about it and stuff like that. You know, in watching season 18 and season 17 during the lockdown, and knowing that Cody Brown has said such horrific shit about Garrison and Gabriel, and knowing that he really didn't want to interact or see them at all for months on end, let alone most of his kids. But some of the things that he said about Garrison and Gabriel, I don't really know how you go back as a father and you watch that, knowing that Garrison is gone now and how Garrison passed. Like, I think that would be so hard to watch. I can't even imagine that, you know, knowing that you spoke about your child that way. And in all honesty, it was really hard through the years. It didn't really, to be honest with you. I think I said this in one of my last videos. I noticed around season 13, Cody start being really controlling. Like, they really started showing it on a video and on the episodes. But from season 13 to the end, he really speaks rather poorly, not just to Mary, Janelle, and Christine, but also to Robin. The fact that Robin is still there, if she's still there, I mean, people are speculating they're getting divorced. The way that he talks to her, even though it comes across like she controls him, I think that he wants people to think that Robin controls him, even though he says Robin doesn't control me. He wants people to think that Robin controls him, because I think he's been hiding the fact that he is so controlling for so many years. In season 18 and season 17, when it comes out that he has had all these conversations behind the scenes that he doesn't want to make public, what it made me immediately go to is, how many conversations have you had in private that you've never wanted to come out? And now Mary's saying in season 19, this is my time to tell my story, and I'm going to tell my story. So what's interesting to me about that is, how much have you kept behind the scenes private? And the whole idea of him wanting everybody to think, because he's like, Robin's not in control of me, Robin didn't make the rules, when I think we know that it seems, and he feeds into this, that Robin is the one that made the rules, that Robin is the one that's controlling things because of how she's the only one that talks to him and he lets her get away with it. Janelle talks to him that way, he walks away. Mary never talks to him that way. Christine challenges him, he gets pissed at her and he yells at her, okay? Robin challenges him, he's like, yeah, you're probably right, because he wants to keep that relationship. That's the only relationship he cares about. But he's ultimately the one that's in control. But he has to make it look like she's the one that's in control, even though he constantly is fighting that. And the one way to make it look like he's not in control is to let everybody else think that Robin is in control. Because if everybody else thinks that Robin's in control, they're not going to question whether or not he's yelling and screaming and telling her what to do behind the scenes. But then you've got her on the other half saying, I'm not in control. I can't control Cody Brown. So which one do you believe? Well, for years, Robin has taken the fall. I have to believe that he treats all of his wives very horribly. He treats his kids like shit too, okay? The fact that, I mean, it's like, I was telling my cousin this the other day because we were talking about all these like religious reality shows, Welcome to Plathville. I was talking to my best friend about this too. And it's like, they all fall apart. They don't, any of them follow their religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. It's like, it just all falls apart and stuff like that. And, it's just like crazy to me that they all start from this point. They all get these shows because of their Christian spiritual beliefs. And I said, you know, like the first commandment should be, thou shalt not do reality TV, because reality TV, I think, is what ruins it for a lot of these families and these people. But anyway, let's go back, shall we, to season 15 and see what my notes are. I probably don't even remember what these notes mean. Okay, so this is the lockdown that we're on during season 15. That's the first thing I have, the lockdown. And this is where, I've explained some of this in my last video, but I skipped some of it. Cody going in, and this is probably one of my favorite seasons of the entire 18, or favorite moments of all 18 seasons. It's Cody very seriously explaining to the wives that look like they were going to fall asleep, and the kids who look like they already checked out, how much toilet paper to use. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And I remember, I mean, we all during that time were like worried about toilet paper and stuff. But they go through this whole thing, and he's like, okay, 2 squares is probably not enough because your finger will go through it. And they're like, Dad! And he's like, but no, seriously, 2 squares is not enough, but 4 squares is enough. And I'm just like, this is so weird. And then after 10 minutes of explaining it, flashes to Janelle, and Janelle's like, yeah, I order my toilet paper once a month, so I'm good. I got enough. And I was like, shouldn't you all, you sister wives, be doing that? So anyway, then it goes on, and Cody says that the family is an obstacle to his own goals. And he's like, I'm done trying, is when he says that. Because he's like, the family is standing in the way of me achieving my own goals. And I'm like, I thought the family was your goal. I thought your goal was the family. So if the family is standing in the way of your goals, then you've lost sight of everything, right? And in retrospect, it's so weird looking back at, like, you know, when they were in Utah, it was like, we got to get out because they're coming to get us. We got to move to Las Vegas. Then they were in the rentals in Las Vegas. It was like, if we could only buy these houses, if we could only get our credit approved to move in these houses in this cul-de-sac, then everything would be perfect. Then he gets the houses and everything's perfect. Apparently, it seems that way on camera. But then he's like, I don't want to be here anymore. He wants to move to Utah first. Then he decides he's going to move to Flagstaff. Then he gets to Flagstaff and he says none of his marriages have been good since Las Vegas. But we didn't know that because per the show, they kept up this act that everything was perfect, because if it wasn't, nobody would watch the show and nobody would buy any of Mary's fucking Lululemon bullshit, not Lululemon, LuLaRoe bullshit, right? Because they all got these online businesses and they got to sell junk jewelry on Sister Wives Closet. Nobody's going to buy this shit if they don't have online presences, you know? So they got to keep the show going, which is why they're going to keep the show going to probably 26 seasons. And yes, I will be here covering all of it. Okay. And this is the point when I notice that he spends all of his time during the lockdown with Robin, right? I mean, Mary doesn't want him at her house anyway. Janelle tells him not to go there, but he's not going to Christine's either. And then he's talking to them about, Christine's talking about wanting to move back to Utah, and he's laughing, right? He's laughing at her, and he's getting a lot of joy out of basically telling Christine that she's not going to move back to Utah, right? And he's like, look, he's like, I'm going to end up like, I'm going to watch her get crucified for saying that she wants to move back to Utah. And I'm like, you know what? What's so interesting about this is, if you watch that scene, he's like laughing at Christine about even questioning wanting to move back to Utah. She doesn't feel like this place is home for her and whatever. When he did this PowerPoint presentation and handing them workbooks and shit about wanting to move to Flagstaff, if you even cracked a joke or questioned him at all, he went off. Do you guys remember that when they were in Las Vegas? I mean, this man is unhinged. He is absolutely unhinged. And then that end of season 15 is when Christine is walking with Mary, and they've had like this big sit down, and then Christine gets up and, oh my God, I gotta go. And then Mary runs over, no you don't, Christine, no you don't give up on us. We're living here on Coyote Pass forever. And then Christine says, I'm done with marriage to Cody. Which I'm just like, that was like my Scooby-Doo ears were like, what did she just say? Not like I'm divorcing Cody. Not like I don't want to be married to Cody anymore, okay? And that's what, and like Janelle says the same, something's very similar to that. She's like, I don't want to be married to Cody, but she doesn't say it like that. She says something very, is this like Mormon talk that, or sister wife talk that I don't know anything about? It's like, I can't do marriage. What is that? What is that? I don't know what that means. I can't do marriage with Cody. I can't even imagine if I called up one of my friends and I said I can't do marriage with Alex anymore. And they'd go, well, I don't know, call it something different then. You know what I mean? I don't get that. I don't know why that bothers me so much either. Okay. So let's go into season 16. So it's really not like Cody is just married. It's like he's married to Robin. They say this in there, but I totally agree. He's married to Robin, and the rest of them are just like ex-wives. I mean, it totally is the truth. And then this is the season where Christine goes, what does the nanny do? Oh my God. I live for that, okay? Because they say, they're so insulted, right? Even though they can't stand Robin. They're so insulted that Robin doesn't ask them for help. Instead, she gets a nanny, okay? So they're like so insulted. Like back in the day when we were living in Lehi, Utah, we all lived in one house and Janelle was in a one-room base. And it's like, girl, shut up. I'm so tired of hearing about Lehi, Utah, okay? So anyway, and what happened in Sister Wives Closet, I mean, I'm telling you, for like 3 seasons, 4 seasons, they don't ever talk about it. And you can't order anything on it anymore either because it closed down, I think, in December 2023. But Christine goes, what does the nanny do? I'll tell you what she does. She gets sick and spreads it to the rest of the family. That's what the nanny does. And Cody's like, she's keeping the same rules and you're not. He goes, she's so full of bullshit. Talking about Christine, because Christine's not keeping the same rules as the nanny. Because the nanny and her husband are keeping the same rules. But then they find out that she got sick and then she spread it to the rest of the family, I guess. Were you doing the nanny? Was Cody doing the nanny with his ramen noodle hair? Then we get Cody presenting the rules, and Robin gets really upset, and she's like, everybody thinks I'm coming up with the rules, but I'm not coming up with the rules. And I'm like watching this, and I'm like, Robin, sweetheart, can I come to Flagstaff and take you on a date so we can get your eyebrows done? Like, seriously? Because they're becoming one, honey. And I don't know if that's pencil or what's going on. It's not a unibrow. It's how you're painting them on. And, girl, I got a beauty drama channel, and I might not be very good at covering the drama over there, but I know when you're painting on your eyebrows so dark that they're about heading together. What's going on, Sob and Robin? Can I please take you on a date and we can get your brows done at the brow bar? I'm so confused about that, okay? So, anyway, Robin's like, he's like, I don't have a head wife in this family. And I'm like, no, you have one wife in this family, okay? And you've been staying with her the whole time, for months on end. And Robin has the balls to get up there and be like, I just kind of feel bad that he's always staying with me. Then tell him to go to his other wife's house. He doesn't want to go to his other wife's house because he's not in love with them. He's not fucking them, okay? That's why y'all are still talking about having kids. That's why you don't want him talking about you having more kids. Because what you're telling the other wives is, he's fucking me. He ain't fucking you, okay? We know that. We know he ain't fucked Mary since Lehi, Utah, okay? We know that. He ain't fucked Janelle since that last kid came out. We know that, okay? Girl, we know you're the only one that he's fucking. You're his trophy wife. Why? I don't know why they consider you the trophy wife, but apparently you are. They all said it early on, okay? So every other wife is there looking at Robin. So there must be a reason why they're all looking at Robin like she runs the place and asking her questions. Because behind the scenes in those private conversations, she's probably doing it. And then they're discussing Thanksgiving, and that's when Janelle tells Cody to F off. She's like, fuck off. And she just walks away. I love that so much. And then it's Gabriel's conversation. It's Garrison leaves, and Gabriel has this conversation with Cody. And I talked about this in my last video. It was really sad because it was so obvious in that moment. Cody would take no responsibility, and Gabriel was like, Cody's like, well, I had to be with Robin because nobody else was following the rules. And he's like, so I could only stay at one house. And Gabriel was like, but why was that, Dad? You could tell Gabriel was so upset. I mean, he's crying in the confessionals. So I felt so bad for that kid. And Cody's like, well, what do you mean, why? And he's like, but why, Dad? Meaning, you could have stuck with us and not gone to Robin or Christine or Mary's house. You could have stayed with Christine, but you chose Robin because she's the most loyal. So you ignored the rest of us and our rules. You could have like said our rules were the best rules, but no, you picked Robin's house because she's the most loyal wife, which is why you all got sick over there. And then after the conversation is when Robin's nanny and her husband get sick, and I'm like, how did your nanny and her get sick if they're all following the rules? Oh, the same rules that then Cody later goes and he tells Christine, okay, his daughter Isabelle is crying because her dad won't be there for one of the most important spinal surgeries of her entire life. He can't go there because of the lockdown and sickness. And he later calls it a vacation, but then turns around and officiates his friend's wedding, okay? And he's like, well, I hope I don't get sick. And I'm like, you had the gall to call Christine's trip with her daughter, okay, for a major surgery to the East Coast, a vacation. But you're going to officiate a friend's wedding. I mean, like, I just was like, this man is like, he is nuts, okay? And then he goes on, he tells Christine that he doesn't want an intimate relationship with her, and he doesn't want with Mary, and he doesn't want with Janelle, because he just wants to have a relationship with Robin and her eyebrows, I guess, and they can just sling their hairdos together, which she looks like she uses a pound of Aquanet on it because it just forever stays in that one roll that she's got it back there. I don't know. I'd love to see a picture of Robin in the morning. She's the only one. If you look at their hairdos, all of their hairdos have changed through the years. Mary's got a completely new hairdo. Okay, Janelle's got a completely new hairdo. Christine's hairdo, she got it cut and all this kind of stuff. Robin's the only one that has the same hairdo from when they first met, and she had those Affliction, shirts on and those True Religion jeans. That she's still wearing all that. She's still dressing that same way. It's like, girl, listen. 1991 asked for its fashion style back. Okay, and then the reunion. I don't remember there being a reunion. He lies about the intimacy conversation. He was afraid she would leave. And I'm like, did you ever tell her that? No, he didn't ever tell her that. I don't even remember any of this. And I'm like, you might be believable about, oh, that's when he's talking to Christine. And I'm like, you might be believable if you hadn't just done the exact same thing with Mary. Like, you literally just told Mary that you didn't want to have an intimate relationship with her. Now you're doing it with Christine, okay? So it's not believable. It's all the fact that you picked Robin. That's why Janelle asks you, do you even want to be in a polygamous relationship anymore? Because it doesn't look like you do. It looks like you just want to be in a monogamous relationship with Robin, and that's fine. Then just tell them that. Then release these women from the eternal bonds that they have to be tied to you with your bad hairdo, okay? And after an eternity, and release them. Let them go, okay? Then season 17 happens, and that's a sit-down conversation with Christine. Season 17 is all about Christine moving back to Utah and moving out and all that kind of stuff. And then Christine says she doesn't want to be married to him anymore, and he is saying that his adult children are saying that he neglected them, but it was because they weren't following the rules. Everything for like 3 seasons is about these rules of the lockdown. And she's like, but your nanny wasn't following the rules. Christine's always like this, but your nanny wasn't following the rules. And he's like, what do you mean the nanny? And she's like, what does the nanny do? The nanny doesn't even follow the rules. Christine is like the epitome of passive-aggressive, and I kind of live for it on the show. I didn't love Christine at first, but I kind of love her now a little bit, if you want to know the truth. Okay. And she says he's not safe for her, and everything he is saying is confirming her decision that she needs to leave. So then she meets with the wives, and she tells them that she's leaving, and she's leaving Cody, and she's taking True. He's like, you're not taking my daughter, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And she's moving back to Utah. She's kind of just like, whatever, I'm going to do what I want to do. You can't tell me what to do. And so Robin, after they have this whole sit-down conversation, Christine says that she's moving back to Utah, basically to not date, even though she marries somebody 10 months later. Robin goes, so you mean you're not going to move on the property? And Christine's like, no, Robin. I'm like, this is like, what delusional world does Robin Brown live in? She's like, Mary might still want to move into the property. Mary's living in Utah at her bed and breakfast. Janelle might still want to move on the property. Janelle did live on the property. She lived in an RV, okay, for 6 months, and she realized it wasn't cutting it, okay? The shitter was emptying out of the property, and she had no electricity. She was out of that RV and into a shithole apartment, okay? Because Cody had taken all of her money for that Coyote Pass, which I think that they've sold at this point, right? Then he goes on, he starts giving this lecture to all the women about how he wants patriarchy again, right? And he doesn't want them around, then he won't have them around his family, which is basically Robin and him and the kids, right? And, so it was really never about the rules. It was really about you dictating this patriarchy, and what you say goes. Because Janelle's like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for a patriarchy. That's not what we agreed to back in the day, so I don't know what you're talking about. Mary and Robin both say that Cody didn't fight for Christine, which I think is interesting. They both say that behind the scenes. And Mary, and I'm like, Mary, he didn't fight for Mary. He didn't fight for any of these women. He didn't fight for any of the women. The only reason he's pissed, okay, that Christine left is he didn't want to be with Mary. He didn't want to be with Janelle. He didn't want to be with Christine, but Christine took her power back and said, I'm out. That's what pissed him off, okay? It pissed off his alpha male toxic masculinity, that he felt like, I have to have all the control in this situation, but Christine took her control back, and it pissed him off. It pissed him off. Just like when she got married, and he's like, I can't believe I'm not there at a Brown family dance-off today. I'm like, that's where your thoughts are when your ex-wife is getting married today? Okay. Then Mary says she still considers herself married to Cody, but he says he doesn't consider himself married to Mary, okay? Mary is another one that I live for, but she has all these allegations now about her. The kids are coming out and say she was abusive as hell, which I don't think is nice, obviously. I think it's horrific. But in this part, I'm like, Mary, you are so delusional. This man does not want to be married to you, but I don't think she knows what to do. And all these people, the last time I talked about it, said in the comment section, they're like, but what you don't understand is that Mary, she married for eternal love, and okay, I think she used that as an excuse, okay? In reality, and watching Mary now and interviews she's done, I think she kind of used that as an excuse a little bit, because when she was done, she didn't give a rat's ass about that eternal marriage anymore. That's just the truth. Mary wasn't hanging on for the eternal marriage. In fact, I don't believe any of them really believe that. Maybe the closest one is Janelle, okay? I don't think Robin believes in that eternal marriage. I don't think any of them do. If they really believed in eternity that much, they wouldn't treat people the way that they treat people, especially Cody Brown. If Cody Brown really believed in the eternal afterlife, he wouldn't treat his wives and his kids the way that he does. Okay, so that's a crock of shit. Mary Brown stayed there and used that as a reason to stay. It wasn't that she kept on saying that. She stayed because she didn't know who she was without him. I think anybody that's been in a long-term relationship that you get out of it, you're like, who am I without this other person? You have to refine yourself again. She didn't want to do that. She was scared. So her excuse was, well, I believe in eternal marriage. That was her excuse she is. Because the second that she was done believing in that eternal marriage bullshit. If you watch it like I did, you know that to be true, you know? Then Robin says that Christine is lying about having difficulty in Vegas, and like Cody's sitting right there, and she's like, you're lying. No, you guys were getting along in Vegas, and Christine's like, no, and Cody's like, no, and Robin's like so delusional. She believed everybody was happy, right? And then McKelty, this made me sad too, when McKelty is arranging the goodbye for everybody to say goodbye to Christine, and it's like, McKelty has really stepped up in the last 2 seasons of really being kind of like the focus point of the family, and Garrison really was trying to too, and Cody turned him down. He wanted to have like the family meeting place at his house, and Cody was like, no, we're not going to do that. And McKelty's really kind of stepped up. I think something happened in the last couple months where, I think it was actually at Garrison's funeral, about how Cody and Robin acted, and this is going to come out in this season, so I'll discuss it when it comes out, but that McKelty was like, I'm done with Robin and Cody. So she tried her best though. Then he gives up on Janelle and changes rules for her constantly, always comparing her to Robin. And he says, why does she think I'm singing the breakup? He says this, he's like, why does Janelle think that I'm singing the breakup song? And I'm like, because you literally in a confessional just said, I'm not in love with her anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship with her anymore. I don't see if having an intimate relationship. That's a breakup song, okay? To anybody else outside of this eternal marriage, that would be a breakup song. And then Cody and Robin and the kids, they all get sick, right? And of course it's like, how did I get sick? I haven't been around. You've all been around people. You've been lying. You are the liars. You accused everybody else of being liars. You're the liar, okay? That's what came out. And then he calls Gabriel about being sick, asking him what it was like when he was sick on Gabriel's birthday. Doesn't even wish Gabriel a happy birthday. I mean, this was so hard for me to watch. And then calls him later because he forgets. Probably because Robin reminded him that it was Gabriel's birthday. And they do all this special shit. This is what was so hard for me. They do all this special. They had a full-on 18th birthday for Aurora, okay? Cakes and balloons and all this kind of shit. He didn't even call his kid or do anything special. And yes, I know he was sick, okay? But he didn't even make a point of afterwards doing anything for Gabriel, buying him a card, a birthday present, anything. I mean, it just is like, the way that this man picks favorites in his family is disgusting. I mean, just at least don't make it so obvious, right? And then Cody says he doesn't want a relationship with Mary. Janelle said she's going to pick her kids over Cody any day. And Cody just wants to be with Robin. And that is season 17. And season 18, Cody's constantly talking about how loyal Robin is and the others aren't. And they're all leaving, right? And I'm like, they're sitting out there, him and Robin, on Coyote Path. Oh, no, this is before they all leave. It's like he and Christine and all of them are out there, and they're talking about, and I'm like, y'all are leaving. Why are we talking about Coyote Path? This is stupid. This is stupid! Why are we doing all of this, okay? Then Mary and Cody break up, and Robin walks off, and she's like, I just can't handle it. And I'm like, Mary is the one getting broken up with here, okay? What is it you can't handle, okay? You need to, sister, pull it together, all right? You single-handedly got rid of 3 wives, okay? You need to teach that. You need to write a book, how to get rid of all the ex-wives, because you single-handedly got rid of 3 wives and 100 kids, okay? Single-handedly. And you're crying and making it about you. And in this moment, baby, it ain't about you, okay? It's about Mary. This is Mary's moment. She's getting broken up with. That's when I was like, I'm done with Robin, okay? And Mary's like talking to them, and Robin's like, but you could stay. And Cody's like, I'm not saying that I don't want to be in a friendship type, kind of see you once every 2-year relationship where I might come to a store if we happen to be in the same city, in the same state, just for a conference or something, cup of coffee kind of relationship. But I definitely don't want to be married to you or fuck you or kiss you or touch you or hang out in a car with you or have dinner with you or lunch with you or breakfast with you or talk to you on the phone or text you. I don't want any of that kind of stuff. But if we happen to be in an airport in Germany 5 years down the road and we just happen to have our planes be crossing and we're both delayed and we happen to only have $1 each that we share a cup of coffee in an airport, maybe that kind of relationship I would want. And Robin's over there looking all doe-eyed. And she's like, but you guys could still make it work. Don't you want to be married to Cody, Mary? And she's like, no. And Mary says, I'm not going to make someone be with me who doesn't want to be with me. I'm not going to be a duty. Because he's basically saying he'll duty pity fucker. And I'm like, exactly. Okay? So you want to sit here and talk about your rock hard abs and your buns of steel and how you've been, he insinuates that Janelle has stayed with him just to fuck him for his body for all these years. I mean, you are literally... She is the mother of your kids, and you are insinuating in season 18 that the only reason that Janelle has stayed with you is to fuck you for your body. Like, that is so gross, okay? I mean, seriously? Not to mention that what you're saying is that these women have objectified you for all of these years, okay? But as soon as they gain a pound, you're done with them, and you stay with the skinniest one in the group. And you're so body-focused, you're always talking, and we don't want to talk about this, right? We want to talk about this, but this is reality. He's always talking about working out, and diets, and healthy eating, and all this kind of stuff. But all the wives that gain weight, you get rid of them. The one you stick with is the one that's the skinniest, okay? Make that make sense to me, Cody Brown, all right? No. But then you want to objectify yourself and say that Janelle only wanted to stay with you because she wanted to fuck you. I don't think it was about that. In that moment when she tells you that she has true affection for you, what she's saying is, I have true affection and love for you as the father of my children, as a man that I have known for 27 years. That's what she's saying. And you're so dull that you don't even get that the woman is giving you a compliment in that moment. She's giving you true compassion, that she really loves and cares about you, and you reduce it to her wanting to fuck you. It's so disgusting. I mean, that was the moment I was like, Cody Brown, you are disgusting, right? And then Christine gets married, and that's the end of season 18, and now we're at season 19, and I'm done. So, anyway, let me know what you... Woo! I'm caught up, girl. I'm caught up. Let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.